DMC to KING. I'ma say this once, I ain't gonna say it again. DMC in the place to be, and the place for you to be is right here with Fred White. Tales from the pen. Yeah, that's it.
Salute, people, we back. Fred White, Tales from the pen. If you're new to the channel, go down and hit the subscribe button. Click the bell notification, and then click the word all. And make sure the bell is shaded in. This way, anytime I put up a video, you will know about it. So we're gonna do another episode from Coxsackie Correctional Facility. This is part 2 from yesterday's episode. If you didn't see yesterday's episode, go check out part 1. So we're back at Coxsackie Correctional Facility, and I forgot to mention an officer or two who was with the bullshit. There was another officer, his name was Carol. Carol was with Sergeant Chase and them hit squad too. But Carol was another one that would set people up. Like if you had problems with Carol, you were going down. You were gonna find yourself in solitary confinement for something. That's how it was. Then they had a couple female officers. One was this real skinny white girl. She was young, but she was just so skinny and so ugly in the face, but we used to call her Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird. And I think she was messing with Hobart. Now, one of the Hobarts was like 300 something pounds, and Tweety Bird was no more than 80 pounds. So it was like a weird, yeah, but allegedly they were, they were in a relationship. And then there was Miss Bell. Now, Miss Bell, anybody in the CAC back in the days remember Miss Bell. Miss Bell was African American, and she was young. No, I'm not gonna sit here lie. She was pretty, and the thing about her, she was like 24, maybe 25, something like that. And then, she had the bubble, right? So the dudes, all the inmates loved her, but she had a shitty ass attitude. But in her defense, and even in defense of some of the corrections officers, a lot of inmates are idiots. A lot of inmates are really assholes. So they develop a certain kind of attitude and mentality. Number one, they're trained from the corrections officers are trained right from the facility. It's a us versus them thing, right? It's like a gang shit, but on a different level. It's us versus inmates, right? And then the inmates, it's inmates versus. So you can understand some of the officers' mentalities. Some of them go to a little bit too far. Some of them take it to the extreme. You with me? And Miss Bell was one of them. Miss Bell, Miss Bell used to mess, like a lot of the white officers up there, they love Miss Bell. They love them some Miss Bell. I'm telling you, you couldn't do nothing to Miss Bell. I told you guys the story about the dude who put his dick in between 2 pieces of bread and put it in the feed up slot. I told you guys the story. This guy, for those who didn't hear the story, because I know not everybody watches all hundreds of my videos, I get it. There was a feed up slot. It's a little hole in the door in certain blocks in Coxsackie. And then the ones that didn't have them, they started to put them in, where they didn't have to open your cell to give you food. Because then a lot of times when they have to open your cell, then dudes is jumping out, and it was always hysteria crazy between inmates and officers. So they developed a system where they had this little hole in the door. Okay, now in the beginning of this system, now they put flaps on the outside, so they close it, boom, lock it. Then when they're feeding you, they unlock it, slide your thing in, lock it. But before that, it was just the slot by itself. No lock. Okay? So dudes would be fishing and putting stuff through, and you know, you can be able to fish all the way down the gallery. Fishing is, you know, pieces of string and sheets put together. Throw that shit down the gallery, you know what I mean? I was a wizard with that shit. Fishing, amazing. That's fishing. You know, you may be in 10 cell and your friend's down in 30 something cell. You got that line, goes all the way down to his cell, he gets it. He pulls in whatever you got, sends it back, sends the line back down to you. You know, there's different ways to fish, but anyway. So this little hole, so the dude told Miss Bell, he put his dick in between two pieces of bread and put it on the door and told her, hey, can you pass this to the next cell over or whatever it was? Shy, remember. And when she's grabbing the sandwich, she's like, give me the sandwich. And then she realized what it was because, you know, as she's pulling, they beat the fuck out of that dude, man. Broke him up. Tore his shit up. And Miss Bell would talk shit, too. She would talk shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, every time she go down the gallery, you got these dudes, all thirsty-ass motherfuckers on the gate. You got a lot of motherfuckers, you know, you got the window up here, and you got, as she's walking past, motherfuckers is jerking off to her. You know what I mean? They would call that getting money. Now I'm gonna get some money to her. To me, that shit was like some deviant shit. It just wasn't my thing. I know people personally who've done it. You know, played with themselves as female officers was going past. Or, you know, or doing it and, you know, acting like they didn't know they were gonna be looking in. You know what I mean? Or, you understand? Usually when she comes on the gate, everybody already knows, yo, behind, you know, whatever code words they're using, letting people know that there's a police coming past. And then, you know, you put out your little mirror and you see who it is. And dudes, as she's walking past, dudes be there jerking off, knowing that she's walking past. Or they'll just be close on the gate where she can't see, she can only see their face. And they'll be looking dead at her, jerking off. You know, to me, you know, dudes will say, oh, I got X amount of years in, it's just the way it is. You know, how do you expect me to act? Like, I've heard that before. I don't know, I expect you to act like a man. I expect you to act like, what if that was your daughter or your mother or something? Like, I don't know. It just never was my thing. I know a lot of people have done it. I know I may even get some comments of people, yeah, I've done it. That's cool. It just never was my thing. I don't know. I tried to keep a certain amount of integrity still. I still try to keep a moral compass, you know, despite the adversity and the circumstances that I'm in. Like, you know, you got to keep a certain moral compass about yourself. So that was just never my thing. But Miss Bell would talk shit to people. You know what I mean? One day, she was talking shit to somebody. Somehow they opened the dude's cell for a shower or something, and she was standing there, and I guess she forgot. And he did it. And he rocked her. Boom! Boom! Knocked Miss Bell out. And knocked all her teeth out her mouth. Anybody that was in Coxsackie at the time, maybe you guys can comment. Put it down below. Yeah. She was talking mad shit, because that's what she used to do. She used to just pop mad shit. Because she knew that, the Klan was coming. She was rolling with the Klan. Facts. And one day, one dude didn't give a fuck. Boom! Knocked all her teeth out. You know, I'm not saying every one, like all her front teeth, all the bottom, front, all of them gone. Talking shit. But that's what she was, and that's the environment Coxsackie was. You know what I mean? Coxsackie was just a different animal. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was just a non-stop violence. Non-stop violence. I'm gonna tell you about another officer. His name was Tiberia. Tiberia worked, he was the officer for the laundry room. Right? And Tiberia, what separated Tiberia from these other officers was Tiberia knew mathematics. So when the guards was talking all of that, Tiberia knew exactly what they were saying. Tiberia sometimes would, you know, go past the guards and be like, you know, peace or whatever he'd say. Then you'd have, he'd pull up and, you know, he'd see a couple of them together. He'll pull up, you know what I mean? And they'll test him. You know, yo, what's today's mathematics? And like, for example, today's what, the 14th. So he'd be like, you know, today's mathematics is knowledge, culture, all being born to power. Like, he knew them all. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, power, equality, God, Bill, born, cipher. He knew all the numbers. You know, I'm not saying he had knowledge himself. I'm saying, but he knew mathematics. So he was that specialist for the jail. So anytime, like, they'd intercept a kite, they intercept a note, a letter, anything like that had certain codes in it, they just give it to Tiberia. He'd be like, oh, guard you now? Oh, that means he wants a gun. And he wants, you know, and yeah. Tiberia. This motherfucker knew mathematics. He knew the 120. He was fluent with it. Again, ask anybody from the early 90s about Tiberia. And the thing was, like, he was alright though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as, like, officers go, and, like, he wasn't a bad one. Dude had knowledge of self. It was crazy. I mean, no, I'm not even gonna say he had knowledge of self. He just knew the mathematics and stuff. So, I mean, that was crazy. And I'd never seen anything like that before. And I never have seen it since. You know? But, yeah. Tiberia, that was his name. I'll never forget that guy, man. You know, because certain jobs, like the laundry room, that was a prestigious job. Like, every week, you have a net bag with your ID number is on the net bag and what housing unit you're in. So you can send your stuff to the laundry to get washed. Everybody sends their stuff in one big bag. The laundry, they don't empty anything, so you better lock up that net bag, right? You lock it up. You send it. They put everything in the wash together. They put everything in the dryer together. They put the bags back. They bring it back to your house, and you get your laundry back. But you would only send your whites or the state issue stuff. Because if you sent, like, your personal, a shirt, or your personal sheets, because you can get sheets and towels. If you got your personal, if you send them like sheets, towels, and you put that in the net bag, you wasn't getting it back. Like, unless you had a contract with somebody in the laundry. So say you had a laundry contract where you're giving somebody a pack of cigarettes and you're putting your personal stuff in that net bag. You're not putting the state issue stuff. You don't care if you lose the state issue stuff. It's the state. They're going to give you new one. But you don't want to put your personal shit in there unless you know somebody in the laundry. Plenty of times new kids put their personal set of sheets or something, and they get it back like, hey, where's my sheets? Motherfucker, you done got. And you don't know who did it because there's 20 motherfuckers that work in the laundry. So you have to have a contract with somebody so that they know, yo, I got somebody from 8-3, where's he at? Oh, there you go. Let me get that bag. That's my bag. And they'll wash it personally and give it, you know what I'm saying? And you have the contracts. It's always a hustle in jail. That's how it goes. So the laundry was a good spot. And the spot that I had was a good spot. I worked in the receiving room. Yeah. Best job in the jail. Best job in the spot. I would see every single person, everyone that came in to that facility. And I would see every single person, everyone that left the facility. So I'm the first person you see, and I'm the last person you see. So, you know what I'm saying? I was also good because people knew, you know what I'm saying? You piss me off or some shit, your shit may end up in fucking Siberia. You know what I'm saying? You may be in Sing Sing, but your shit went to Auburn. And half your shit at that. You know what I mean? I never was really with the robbery game as far as that, because a lot of dudes who had those positions would rob a lot of people. I never was with it. I only did it for a reason. In other words, like my boy Trigger. Shout out to Trigger. Trigger came to me, and my man JR had got caught and was in the box. And for, you know, selling whatever. The kid took the drugs from my man JR, and then signed in and said JR was gonna kill him and all of that, and he had all JR's drugs. You know, he was supposed to pay him. You understand? Did some sucker shit. So he went into protective custody, and JR was in solitary confinement. So Trigger, and I knew JR from the island. That was my boy. So Trigger was JR's cousin. So Trigger was like, yo, you know, we gotta get him. You know what I'm saying? Get him for me, man. So I was like, I bet, you know, I'm gonna see what he got and shit. So now what I would do is I would know, we'd get the call in the receiving room, who's leaving today, right? So the police, Kiefer, he was cool as fuck. He had like 40 years in. He was like the top ranking police there. He was mad cool though. Again, he was like, you know, laid back. He had so much time in, he was about to retire, and all the police respected Kiefer. So I was up under Kiefer, you understand? Like, so after a while, when the police was messing with me, they stopped messing with me because of Kiefer. Because I was working with Kiefer. It was like me and one other person, and then two other, with me, my man Shag, and now Ty, you know what I'm saying? My man Big Ty from Queens, Cat Nephew. That was my man Ty. Shout out to Ty. I seen him on the train many years ago, man. We had lost contact. But anyway, we was like the porters of the receiving room. We worked it. So we would go get whoever was leaving the jail. So I would wait for that kid, like I knew the kid's name. His name was like Sanchez or something like that. So I seen when he came up that he was leaving that day. So now we go get him with the cart. He puts all his property on the cart. He walks with us to the receiving room. And as he's putting his stuff into the bags, he's identifying it to the officer. So he's saying, I have 10 tapes. I have 6 pairs of sneakers. And they write it on what's called an I-64. So that when you get to the next jail, you have all this 10 cassettes, 6 pairs of sneakers. You know what I'm saying? They know that that's your stuff. So when he came down, he had a lot of shit too. He had like 60 tapes, sneakers, shit. But he was a rat. He was a snitch. And that's it. So we did all that, and then he goes back to his cell. And now that property's there with me all day. We used to dummy bag shit. Like, we used to make sure we put all the tapes, sneakers, shit that would, like, it was like a science sometimes with some of these. And we only did it to rats. Only did it to snitches, only. Never robbed anybody, you know, that didn't deserve it, I guess. I kind of, is that, maybe that's justification for my bullshit, but that's how it was. I never robbed anybody like, you know, that was somebody. I never robbed anybody that, I did it to people who were snitches and rats and telling on inmates and telling on people that I knew and telling on my friends. That's it. So I would take their shit, I'd stuff it with like fake towels and shit and put the tag back on. And that's it, he go to his next jail. When he gets to his next jail, all his shit is gone. Or I might put an Auburn tag on the bag. Because it's different jails is leaving different, they're all going on the same bus, but they're all going to different jails. So if son was going, say, to Attica, I would send his shit to Auburn. Or send his shit to Clinton, or, you know what I mean? I would fuck these rats' lives up. Yes, never robbed anybody like that. I'm saying I did to these rats and snakes. I did it on a regular basis. And yeah, and I got justice for my man JR and Trigger. I'm just saying, this was life. This was how it was. So you really didn't want, you know what I mean? The problems with me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, the reality is, anybody that was there with me, anybody that knew me, anybody, they were all going to say the same thing. Fred was chilling. That's exactly pretty much what everyone's going to say. No one's going to say anything bad. No one's going to say anything crazy. When people, yo, you remember? Oh, shit, I do. Oh, Fred was chilling. That'll be pretty much 90% of the narrative of the first thing people think about about me. I was, you know what I mean? I always carried myself in a certain way, and that's just how it is. And that's how you have to be in prison. You have to carry yourself a certain way, right? You carry yourself like a clown, you're gonna get treated like a clown. 90% of the time, you give respect, you're gonna get it. 90% of the time, of course, it's the knuckleheads, right? You treat people like men, you'll get treated like a man. That's how it goes. It's a different life, it's a different world. But again, Coxsackie was more Rikers Island Jr. You know what I mean? Also about Coxsackie was, I met a lot of talented brothers in Coxsackie. I met a lot of talented brothers in prison, period. People who would be able to draw, right? You have somebody's birthday coming up, a family member's birthday, and I want to make them like a nice portrait or something like that, or a cartoon character, a kid your kid likes, or your niece, your nephew, your baby cousin, whatever. They like Mickey Mouse. You got guys in there that will draw vinyls, and they make vinyls of Mickey Mouse, like perfect vinyls for like 2 packs of cigarettes, and then you would send it home, right? You send it to whoever it was. I mean, you had people in there that were so talented. You had people in there that were, you know, we first started making dice. We used to take wet toilet tissue, cube it up, let it dry, and then put the 1, the 2, whatever, make dice. Then we, you know, had dudes that used to do it with soap. Then you had dudes that would make chess pieces with soap, and dudes would make, take paper mache and make eagles, and like, I mean, dudes were so talented. There's so much wasted talent in prison. I remember this one dude, right? His name, we used to call him on Rikers Island, we used to call him Black. And then in Coxsackie, he went by the name of Unique. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of guys change their names or whatever. A lot of that. I know a lot of dudes who did that. Was known here as Black. You know, we used to call him Black. He was very dark skinned. He came up north, his name was Unique. You know, and the most talented singer I've ever heard in my life. Just speaking about this man, I get goosebumps. This dude's voice was crazy. We'd be in Coxsackie and it'd be wild on the gallery. Dudes yell, everybody be like, yo, chill. Yo, Black. Yo, Unique. Whatever. Yo, get on the gate. Yo, come on, man, sing us something. And when everybody know that Unique is about to sing, you could hear a pin drop. Unique was amazing. I mean, he would get on, wasted talent. Because I know during my bid, I heard about him coming through a few different times. You want to know something weird? So, scrolling through, you know, YouTube, because a friend of mine said he saw Unique in the train station. And Unique was singing in the train station. I'm like, what? Searching around. Check this out. So I walking Ladies and gentlemen, that was unique. He goes by the name Amar Putois. I think it's A-M, like if you look him up on YouTube, I think it's A-M-U-H-P-T-A-H, something like that. A-M-U-I-P-T-A-H, something like that. Amar Putois. But you can look him up on YouTube. Now, that kid there, oh my God, that was just a little sample. His voice range, the way he used to change his voice and his powerful voice, amazing. Winning talent shows, like so many. And him and this other kid, I remember another kid named Homie, he used to sing and rap. Like that was, and that was a little unique for the time. But I've never met a more talented singer than I did that brother right there. I've seen on his YouTube video he hasn't posted in like 6 or 7 years or something like that. So I don't know where he is or how he's doing. I hope he's doing well. But he should have got on American Idol. He should have got on, there's so many shows right now. But I swear to God, he used to get on the gate and everybody, the whole block, would shut up. Do you know how hard that is to get the whole fucking block to shut up? Do you know how hard it is? Very. Very. But as soon as he starts singing, everybody, it doesn't matter what color you were. It didn't matter what kind of music you listened to. You just knew talent when you heard it. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. Even Creeper used to come by and listen. Creeper was this police. And he used to hold his keys. And sometimes you'd catch him taking his shoes off and creeping down the gallery to try to catch people talking, because you weren't supposed to be talking after a certain time, like 11. He would creep. Most police would walk, you'd hear him and be quiet till they leave, whatever. He would hold his fucking keys, take his shoes off, and tiptoe to try to catch people talking on the gate back and forth. And unless you have your mirror out, you don't know he's coming. And it's just you and your boy talking, everybody else see y'all just talking across the, your cells or whatever. He'll come creeping up on you, write you a ticket for like talking on your gate after 11 or whatever. Fucking asshole. But when Unique was singing, even Creeper would just come and just stand there. Let him sing. You know what I mean? He ain't supposed to be talking, but he was that amazing. It's so much lost talent in there, man. So much. This is why I do this. This is why I do this channel, for these kids to understand. You have some type of talent. There's so many ways to make money out here. There's so many. There's such a golden road for you to go down, kids. But there's also a treacherous one. There's also a treacherous one with landmines and potholes. Do you want landmines and potholes? Not sure when you take your next step, if it's your last. This is the mentality. This is the paranoid state I lived in for a long time. I did it to myself. I created that. I made bad choices. I made bad decisions. And those bad decisions led me to places like Coxsackie Correctional Facility. Led me to Coxsackie Correctional Facility, where I'm in the receiving room making sure rats get their just due. I had a friend of mine that I pulled down to that job. This kid, we're gonna call him B. We'll call him Bronk. There you go. I pulled Bronk, who I knew from the streets. Bronk had 25 to life. I knew Bronk came from Elmira, so I knew Bronk. So when the position opened, I pulled Bronk with me. And I taught him the ropes of the game, and I told him, don't rob anybody. You know, and I broke it down like I broke everything down to you. Only the people who need to get that. You never rob anybody you're not supposed to. You don't do that. Because what happens is, when you rob somebody, what happens is they get to the next jail, they write people back at the jail you're still in. They may have family members. They may have dudes that will ride for them. They may have their brother there, their cousin there. So you can't just rob anybody. That's why anybody I robbed, I wasn't worried about no backlash, because they's a rat. Nobody gave a fuck about them anymore. They were irrelevant. Okay? That's the life I led. That's how it was. Sometimes it's more like, yo, Fred, you gotta get him. Yeah, I gotta get him. Now, President Army also, I gotta get him. He did this. He ratted on the whole crew. Got everybody a year in the box. 90 days, whatever. I gotta get him. That's how it was. But anyway, I put Bronk down. So when I left. Boom. I left the facility. Bronk was still there. Apparently, Bronk didn't listen to what I said. And the schoolings that I tried to school him under. Because he used to listen to me. And as a matter of fact, he was one of the ones that I told you in Coxsackie that wanted to start the White Knights. Remember I told you guys that story? He wanted to start a white gang. And I know him from the streets. And he know what it is with me. And this is my guy. So in there, he seen the respect I had. He had got there. He came up under me. That was my boy. But he wanted to start that White Knights. And I was like, nah. He wanted to put down every fucking white boy in the jail. And that wasn't my thing. I told you, there was only a few. On Rikers Island, only a couple. In Coxsackie, only a couple. As I got older and into the mountains in Clinton and Comstock, there was some serious white boys there. What I'm saying, in my adolescent days, I tried to look out for him. And I didn't want just to have any of these white boys. I've seen half these white boys getting robbed and smacked around. Why would I want them on my team? I told him no. If we got 5, 6 strong ones, I'd rather ride with that. That wasn't his philosophy, so the White Knights never happened. It's a fact. But anyway, I still try to impose my wisdom on the dude. I knew him from the streets. I knew him a long time. He knew my mom. So I couldn't let nothing happen. He was with me. Again, I left. And he was still working there, and he robbed somebody. He robbed a Jamaican kid. Jamaican kid sent word back. He got cut. Bronk got cut. They sent him out to jail. They sent him to Green Haven. Guess who was in Green Haven? The Jamaican kid that he robbed as the kid was leaving Coxsackie. In other words, he had his bags. He took his shit and sent it, and so the Jamaican kid, they took his shit in Coxsackie, was in Green Haven. And Bronk didn't even see him. Bronk was lifting a weight, and the Jamaican kid hit him in the head with I think it was a 25-pound or some shit, 10-pound weight, some shit. Smashed him in the head with it. He didn't kill him, but fucked Bronk up. I think cut him too out, some shit. Had many problems over robbing somebody when they were leaving. I tried to tell him. I tried. You can't do that. But for me, sometimes I understood the rules a little bit faster and quicker. Sometimes some people just don't get it. Sometimes people, have to feel that fire. Right? Some people, like my motto, experience is the greatest. Sometimes people just have to experience it for themselves. After he got cut, after he got bashed in his head with weights, I'm sure then he thought back to, damn, Fred told me don't do that. You can't do that. But he did. Too late. Anyway, he's home now too. Salute to him. Coxsackie Correctional Facility. It was wild. Different environment. I always tried to get to the dorms, but I always had a no dorm status because of that stupid escape shit that they said I tried to escape on Rikers Island, which never happened. Never happened. But they had me as a no dorm status, so I couldn't even go to a dorm, but then eventually they sent me to a medium security facility, but whatever. The system is so fucking backwards. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit, give you a little bit of part 2 about Coxsackie. Maybe I'll give you part 3, 4, 5. I'm back to my roots, people, back on the porch. I had to get my whole porch redone. I got new furniture and things out here. Got everything redone on my porch. So my porch was out of commission for a while, but I'm back. I'm back to my roots. I'm back to what people love. I'm back to that Tales from the Pen. I'm back to them stories that people want to hear. And on that note, people, you know the motto. Experience is the greatest teacher. But somebody else's experience can be just as valuable if you pay attention and listen. And on that note, people, Fred White, signing off.